Welcome to the shop at Matt Harris Knives. My name's Tim. So this project is going to be an adjustable tool rest. So let's get started. So the stock we're using is 1.5 by 1.5 aluminum. So I've already faced off one of the ends, and I will cut that into 1-inch slices, and then we'll take it over to the mill and face off between cuts, and then even the parts up in a minute. So we've made our first saw cut, and now it's time to face the end before we make the next one. So now we've got our pieces set up in the vise with an indexable end mill, and we're going to make them all the same thickness. So we'll touch off and then whittle them down to things clean up. So we've got this side cleaned up, and then we're going to put in the next two, and we'll use our Quill DRO and set 0 so that we can have them the same thickness. And we'll bring you back when we're done. So we've got one of our parts blued up, and the first thing we're going to do is doing some layout. So the rod we're going to stick through is 1/2 inch. So if you take half, that's 0.25, plus we're going to have 1/10 on top, and then this will be cut with a slitting saw, and then a bolt will come through to tighten that down. So the first thing we need to do is do this layout. It will be 0.350. So you can see we've got our calipers set, so we'll scratch that out. So after taking a look at that layout, we adjusted our dimensions a little bit, and this isn't all that precise. So rather than breaking out the edge finder, I think setting up a pointer on the scribe lines will be sufficient. So we'll be using a 1/2 inch end mill to plunge a 1/2 inch hole through the piece. So the next operation is going to be to slit a hole in the side, and then we'll drill and tap for a bolt. So I've set up thickness of the blade and align that cutting saw in the middle of the hole, and we've reduced the RPMs from 2300 down to 255. So the next order of operation is to drill and tap a few holes. So I've got a through-hole drill that will start out, then drill for the tap, and so we've got a couple different parts depending on where they go in the jig. So there's a couple like this where the hole is slit, and there's a clamp bolt that goes on top. And then this one goes up towards the front, and it's got a through hole through it. So I've already tapped the clamp bolt for that. And now I'm just putting some set screw bolts that'll help hold the rod that goes through there. So we've got the platen work rest in the vise. We're going to square up the sides. As you can see, the cut on top of that is relatively rough, so we'll get that trued up and squared up. So we've got both sides of the platen milled flat, smooth, the saw cut out. Now we're going to make a notch for the belt. This will become apparent later, but so it's the center line of the platen, and we're going to come down 6/10, and it's 2 1/4 wide. So we'll do that with a 3/4 end mill. So now it's time to do a little bit of assembly. We've got the hole set in there and polished the rod down. Got the micrometer out to check dimensions. So the 1/2 inch stock that I got from the metal fabricator was a little bigger than 1/2 inch, and since I used a 1/2 inch end mill, we polished that down. So we're going to clean these up, use some Loctite and Loctite those together. So it's time to true up the edges of the work rest. So we've taken off the vise and set up an indicator in the back and trimmed our work rest in. So now we'll true it up. So we're getting ready to drill some through holes and countersink for some 1/4 bolts. So this piece will be underneath, and that'll support the work rest. So we've got things all assembled now. So you can see the work rest with the platen. So give you a little tour. So this piece here bolts to the tooling arm. Got a 1/2 inch rod coming down to a junction that allow you to go both up and down and in and out. So you can see the adjustability that allow you to work flat or at different angles. So that wraps up the adjustable tool rest. Thanks for watching.